Of course, support Justin Tucker. Ask him, what does he need? How can we help you? Try to take the pressure off, but you got to win games. And if he's not making his kicks, then I think you need a plan B.
So guys, let's get right into this. Elephant in the room. What the heck happened to Justin Tucker? We're talking about one of the best kickers in history of the game, missing 2 field goals and an extra point. And technically, it cost them the game against the Eagles. So he owned up to it and said,
as simply as I can put it, I missed the kicks, and I'll leave it at that. I just left the points out there. I feel like I cost us this one.
I really feel for the guy. He's not wrong. This was honestly the worst case scenario. So, Chris, I want to start with you since you reside in the DMV area. So how are Ravens fans right now? And more importantly, please tell me they're not calling for this guy's head.
Some of them are, and it feels super shocking because this is one of the greatest kickers, if not the greatest kicker in NFL history, who has seemingly fallen off a cliff. But the writing was kind of on the wall last year, to be honest. He was 1 for 5 on kicks from more than 50 yards in 2023, despite an otherwise patented Justin Tucker season. That number is now 4 for 9 in 2024. I think part of this has to be head coach John Harbaugh starting to save his kicker from himself. And he's putting him in these 53-plus situations. On Monday, as the Ravens were on a bye week, John Harbaugh said that maybe 50 to 52 is going to be Tucker's new range going forward. Now, all of these misses seem to be wide left, with the exception of 1 this year. He's also missed 2 extra points on top of his 8 missed field goals. Every single one wide left except for 1. The Ravens offense, of course, could help him out by finishing these drives. Touchdowns, way more valuable than field goals, as we know. And while you pointed out, Mackenzie, that his misses were ultimately the difference, we're not having this conversation if the Ravens offense has more success against the Eagles defense.
Very fair, very fair. Now, Lorenzo, hypothetical here. Say that the Ravens come out of their bye, Tucker's still kind of playing really bad. Do you take the guy out?
I think you kind of have to, honestly. I mean, at least have a backup plan, let's say. I think it's like a mechanical issue that or maybe it's just the yips and maybe it's a combination. But so in Baltimore losses, he has converted 9 of 16 field goals for 56.3%. In Baltimore's victories, that number is 10 of 11 at 90.9. So his kicks, his misses they're correlating directly to Baltimore's losses. And as this team gets closer to the playoffs and as they play better opponents, you can't have a guy maybe where it's a coin flip. It's not going to be winning football. And I completely agree with Chris. If Baltimore finishes drives, that's great. But there is going to come a point when you're playing better defenses in January and if you go on a deep run in February, but it's going to be tougher for Baltimore to score. So it's going to be hard if you can't rely on your kicker. So if I'm them, I'm thinking of course, support Justin Tucker. Ask him, what does he need? How can we help you? Try to take the pressure off, but you got to win games. And if he's not making his kicks, then I think you need a plan B, yeah. And the other thing to consider is that his salary next season is $4.2 million. It's not guaranteed. So, again, it's wild. I don't know that I would cut him, but if Baltimore chose to move on, this would be the time, this offseason. So it's going to be really interesting.
Good point. So obviously the Ravens fell behind, but the Steelers, on the other hand, are taking full advantage of this, pulling even farther more ahead of Baltimore in the AFC North. And Pittsburgh, if you ask me, looks like a bunch of geniuses, bringing in Russell Wilson, and even the NFL tweeted, the future is unlimited with Russ, and he's dressed as a Steelers superhero. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's a pretty cool situation that Russell Wilson's in right now. So, Lorenzo, I want to start with you. Do you agree with the sentiment that he's Mr. Unlimited? And do you feel like the Steelers are actually going to be a real contender?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because to your point about the Steelers front office having conviction and being certain of what they like, Justin Fields came in and was playing pretty well in the beginning of the season, and they were like, no, we're going to go to this guy. And the offense has been much better, in particular the downfield passing attack. His deep ball he's been throughout his career one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL, and it's unlocked a portion of Pittsburgh's offense that wasn't there when Justin Fields was playing. I look at their games And I'm often like, there's no way they're going to win this. Like, it's just like, the offense does stagnate sometimes, but then they seem to find a way. And we were talking about Baltimore's kicker. Chris Boswell, on the other hand, he's automatic at this point. And there have been games where Pittsburgh has not scored a touchdown, and Boswell has kicked like 5 or 6 field goals. They're like, it's not pretty, but they get the job done.
Mike Tomlin has been the head coach for 18 seasons there. They had their 5th best ever game in terms of success rate, 48.5% on offense. 5 times out of like 300 and something games that Mike Tomlin's been the coach. So definitely something different going on in Pittsburgh. And I think that they look like geniuses, Mackenzie, because they're only paying him $1.2 million of the $39 million. Because, of course,
Deal.
The Broncos and Sean Payton decided that Mr. Unlimited was not worth their time. They used the number 12 pick on Bo Nix. And that decision has honestly really panned out for them so far.
Hey sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.